Judge Howard Grayson was a white American judge from a deeply conservative and racially biased family. His ancestors came from the southern United States, where discrimination against black and other minority groups was a common practice. Howard grew up believing that white people were superior to everyone else and that the law existed only to maintain their dominance. His father was also a judge, and his rulings always favored white defendants while disproportionately punishing minorities. Following in his father's footsteps, Howard pursued a law degree and quickly became a strict, hardline judge. He always viewed black, Hispanic, and Asian individuals appearing in his court as inferior and handed out harsh sentences against them. He was convinced that he was above the law and that no one could challenge his rulings. Numerous complaints were filed against his biased and corrupt practices, but he always escaped consequences due to his influence and power. One day, a young black man named Jason Williams was brought to Howard's court. Jason was accused of attacking a white man, even though he had only acted in self-defense. Without examining the evidence, Howard made a decision solely based on the defendant's race. 5 years of hard prison time. Everyone in the courtroom knew the verdict was unjust, but no one dared to oppose it. Jason's mother, a strong and determined woman, stood up and shouted, "One day, this verdict will come back to haunt you, Judge Howard. Stop making a mockery of the law." But Howard merely smirked and responded, "The law is what I say it is." A few months later, Howard's life took an unexpected and dramatic turn. One night, while driving home, he was pulled over by a police officer. Furious, he snapped, "Do you even know who I am?" But the officer calmly replied, "Everyone is subject to the law, Judge. The real issue?" Judge Howard had been caught driving under the influence. He had sentenced others to severe punishments for similar offenses, yet he believed he was untouchable. However, this time, the police refused to let him off the hook. He was arrested and taken to jail. The next day, Howard appeared in court, only to find himself facing a black judge, Judge Martin Jacobson. The very same judge whom Howard had always belittled and insulted. After reviewing the evidence, Judge Jacobson declared, "Howard Grayson, in your courtroom, justice was nothing but a joke. But in my courtroom, the law is equal for all. Your crime has been proven, and I am going to give you the same punishment you used to hand down to others without a second thought. You are sentenced to 1 year in prison and immediate dismissal from your position as a judge." Howard's eyes widened in shock and humiliation. The very law he had twisted to serve his own biases had now turned against him. Howard was thrown into prison. There, he came face to face with the very same inmates he had unfairly sentenced over the years. The same people who had suffered under his biased rulings were now his fellow prisoners. He faced constant humiliation and physical attacks, and for the first time, he realized how cruel his own decisions had been, but an even greater shock awaited him. One day, he found a familiar file placed on his prison bed. When he opened it, he discovered it was the case of Jason Williams, the young man he had unjustly sentenced. At the bottom of the file, there was a handwritten note, "Do you understand what injustice feels like now?" It was from Jason's mother, who had fought a legal battle and managed to get her son's conviction overturned. Howard now had all the time in the world to reflect on his actions. This story isn't just about one judge, it's a lesson for anyone who thinks they are above the law. Justice may take time, but when it strikes, it leaves no one untouched. Justice always wins.